Good morning. Yeah, today's Bund with the cash open prices started slightly below the yesterday value area low. So this was like the moment where prices were looking for lower areas, for lower value, but leaving the value should look different to what it looks right now. That means have a look at the pre-market picture. From the overnight session, which still was balanced within the yesterday value, the yesterday value is this gray rectangle you see here. So this means from this moment on, when the pre-market phase started, prices tried to go lower. That means that this was the hypo 3 already tried to play in the pre-market session. But you see that the volume that was built below this area, which was obviously more shortish, got absorbed. This means that this area, which I said at around 27 to 30 area, will be already a support area from the buyer side. This was existing still. Because the people who got into the longs from the bigger picture, from the OTF side, which you see obviously here, those people here still in the game and they have risk on. So this means that those positions that are in the books, obviously long positions, they got defended around here. This was the reason why I said that you don't, if you take on the short, be beware of the 27 to 30 area, because we have some kind of a stronger low from the Friday, from the last trading day session here, which was built about 4 o'clock. So okay, that's what you see then, that these positions traded below the yesterday value area low got absorbed, and the next try around here wasn't that strong that the short attempt before. You see this delta divergence already here, and then have a look at the third attempt here. This was even weaker. So you will agree that this can't be named as an increase of volume as prices moving away from yesterday value to go shorter. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm again not at the trading screen, sorry. So this was the delta divergence from the second attempt here. You see this here? Then we see the third attempt below the value area low. And you see that this can't be named as increasing of volume, a shortish volume. This is a decrease of volume. So this means that right now, even though they plan to get lower, after slightly getting out of this yesterday value area low, the big guys do defend these areas. Okay? So this is what happened right now. If now maybe a fourth attempt to the low of this area started, then we have to see that there is really trendish increase of delta and volume once they cross this area. Only this would be a sign for a trendish, shortish move, which could lead to prices back to the 173.24 or 18 area. Okay, just for the understanding. This is not happening right now, but to learn and just this is just the exercise to see how it should look like. And yeah, right now you see if prices then can't go out from the value. There's only one thing in option theory then what can happen in the more volatile and more liquid phase of the market. Of course, that means in between 9 and 11 o'clock or 9 and 10:30. This is then that prices look for a fair value again, which obviously was yesterday in a kind of B model distribution. That means the 36 and 44 area would be where prices may look for fair value again. So this is then what happened. You see a rejection of the downside, Now going back, remember this rectangle here was the yesterday main distribution, a statistically a normal distribution, okay, normal size distribution, okay, and a little bit B model, but only this is only for yeah, for the mathematical interest of how the price is developed and built value. That means price stayed for a time with volume, and now after the rejection there's only this one goal: finding new fair prices, and it's supposed to go then to this area 36 or 44 area, or at least fill out this kind of B model lower volume areas here. The next area then for a trade, if they can make it through the whole value, would be the edges around the 47 and 50 area. So this would be then where you're looking for responsive sellers. If they can be spotted, that means spotted without a progressive, aggressive, trendish, longish buying, but once getting here, got rejected. I looking always for a double rejection. With strong market selling, then this would be the cheap entry with a tight stop for the range short. So I will be back when the situation changes and prices go into one of my activity areas, which would be here, or for the trend, possible trend, if the bullish behavior in delta would be very strong and one see a building value above the yesterday value area high, and then I will be back. And then I will be back. see what happened now. Prices now reach this lower volume area in this B model profile from yesterday, and you see that everything, the positions, they give up again. That means the profit taken place around here got absorbed. That means there are about 800, 900 contracts in between the last 2 minutes got sold into the 173.40, okay? 173.40 got sold here, but even though there was a lot of selling, which was mainly profit taken, of course, because people do take their profits when reaching this area, because it was a little bit B model, of course, okay? You don't want to risk and you want to get out of the position first. But you also see then that people are absorbing. That means that's okay. They now looking, if as long as they absorb, there is a really high chance, about 70%, that they will reach the other side of the range, at least the main POC from yesterday at the 44. So right now you see they coming back after the absorption took place, and nobody sells into it anymore. They are more confident now to take on actual market buying orders, okay? So this can take on a little bit, because right now we see this got filled. This is where the actual intraday POC is built, and this means that they can play around here. As long as absorption took place then at the 39.40 area, there's a 70% with a chance that they will reach then the 44 area or go to the other side of the range. All right, absorption disappeared. That means we couldn't hold above the 39.40 right now, but are below the at the day POC and see increasing volume at below the at the day POC. That means that then the possibility of failing the upper side, extending the at the moment high, is a little bit bigger. But anyway, there was no trade, as you see anyway, at this area, but I just want to tell you to watch more the market, to watch the price action and see the order flow and see what they play. And you see, this was the moment where I said we see the absorption, but what you said then, after I stopped talking, was that the volume didn't increase anymore. That means that there was no market try of buyers going up to the upper POC at the moment, okay? So this is a difference now. And the absorption at the 93.40 level stopped at 9 o'clock and 14 here. So they still playing around the POC, but with a little bit more, with a little bit more possibility now on the short side. But this is the POC area, and you don't want to play this. We want to play, as my hypo said, from outside to inside. This means from the range high to the low, and from the low to the high, or from the high to the middle, and from the low to the middle. Let's see who can win this battle. but following the price action, we saw attempt, absorption stops. Now absorption re-entered at the 38, and now we have to see if they can take out the high here at the micro level, or if there's coming rejection. But you don't have to follow this at this area, by the way. It's just to train a little bit and see where's the momentum right now. Okay, guys. All right. Now, if you've seen something that I sometimes be a little bit too quick when judging in the micro level. So that's maybe the reason why I'm not the super scalper, because my mind is maybe not built for it. So you see that I said the 40 watt the level to watch if there's no absorption and a failure, a lack of volume interested at the micro level. Now just watching, I'm just describing now the order flow again and price action. And you see, well, that I was a little bit too quick here. You see that there was absorption still. They bounced back to the VWAP, they bounced back to this balanced, short-term balanced area low, which was divided by this low volume node, which got support here with this low volume node, and there was then the absorption again, and then one could also see that the volume then started to increase again with here and here. You see this in delta here and here. So this was just a little bit too quick. Yeah, I wasn't. I was right with the idea, but I'm not the super scalper, so maybe I judged over this level too quick because it was more important and it stays within this balanced area, which was built obviously after going back into the yesterday value. So everything was okay. Not the 40 was more important. More important than was the 37, 38 area, which then was touched a few minutes later. And even though it was below the today POC, one should not forget that this is a really tight range today. So we only see here a four tick space around the POC, and this is not already a sign of weakness if they go in below the POC, if it's not with volume and going lower. Yeah, so it's. I think you could see here, you can see here that it's good that I don't scalp the super micro level because I would be having too many failed trades, and but I'm totally fair and open and tell you this live because there's no reason to hide it. That's why I more trade the setups that I am feeling comfortable with and trying to be the best trader I can be around this area. Okay, now we are coming to the level this is of importance. So this means this is the activity zone again around here. There are the possibility of two plays can be played. Play number one would be we are within the yesterday value, and if we see responsive selling in this area here, we are looking for the range short. Okay. If there is a increase of volume, which means trendish behavior spotted around the yesterday value area high with a console and holding structure with absorption, then with a pullback to the yesterday value high, and then starting the increasing volume again. This would be then the other hypo from my morning preparation for the long
the more trendish play for the long. These are the two scenarios where we have to spot here and train your eyes and try to find simple triggers to play those then. I know it's not simple because you have to be quick, but once you train it in building automatism, then you can be really good. And you have to just be sure what it means when delta rises, when volume increases, how does it look like when it pullbacks, how does it look like if there is a acceptance above the yesterday value area high, how does it look, the other thing, then if no acceptance, how does it look then if volume decreases, how does it look then in the responsive selling? Because this is what you just have to recognize. This is the two things you have to beware of. Either here, the good possibility for a long move or the range play in short direction. I use the airspeed volume difference bars, okay, the cumulative delta, and of course, that's the most important thing, the place where it took place, the area where it took place, taken out from my big picture preparation, which of course is a sum of the understanding of the market, of the moves, of the areas of strong highs, strong lows, based on the auction theory, market auction theory, and using the volume profiles and the shapes of the profiles. And then, okay, again, we take in the internals, we take in the microstructure, we take in the order flow and the action. So try to get better in these things, where it takes place, big picture, and then how it looks like. And find some simple triggers. Don't use 5, 6, 7 indicators. Find simple triggers and make it measurable. And then you can evaluate. Okay, now is where you can start to read the order flow. This is the area where it's interesting now, because we just reached the 49 area. This means the upper area of the Friday's distribution. And now you want to see responsive selling, either for the range short or increase of volume and the holding structure, and then increase of volume of buyers to get into the long. This is the two possible scenarios. Okay, now you see the increase of volume. That means we saw here, you saw that at the range high of the yesterday value area high, they started with some little selling, but they got absorbed. That means the price didn't follow the delta in these terms, but prices stayed above it. And now you saw then in this period here again, that volume increases again. Okay, volume increase after we got through value area high of yesterday, after we got through the 49, then see that value follows the price here. That means POC shifted and shifted. and now again, increase of volume. The target area number 1 is already with this move reached, which I named as the 56, and the second target would be 62. Let's see if a price got rejected now already here, because the 56 area was the previous day high, okay? And the other thing was the Erie day high at the 62.63 level. Okay, right now they pulled back to where it started before. That means this is another entry level for a re-long situation, but they need to hold in this term above the 50 area, 50, 51. That means your stop could be around the 49, 50. And yeah, target still, and then first they have to make it above the high of the day, the 57, and then there is the 61, 62 area. But let's see how it develops. Right now you see that the volume here, need to switch to the other screen, that the volume increases again. That means the balance, this pullback to this level. Then see here in delta that the shorts got weaker and weaker, then buyers coming in again, and as I said, that they then increasing of volume again. That means take on again the long, and now the first resistance is the 57, which they have to make it through, and then there's the 61 area from the Erie yesterday high. So this level here, whereas also liquidity now provided at the 60 level. Of course, I will tell you then in the recap, which was the trigger for me to prefer at this moment at 9:30 around, to prefer more the bullish scenario and not looking for the first or second rejection of responsive selling back into the range. And I will tell you what I think and what I saw. And of course, there are always some trigger you have to rely on, and then you have to use and stay consistent and consequently on for your trading, because this makes your rate of winners and losers. And if you don't take on your trades, those trades, then you will fail in the long term. But this moment here, one could see in delta already that the strong volume hitting at the value area high and staying above with the increase of volume, which happens obviously then at this moment here. And now at the pullback, the same picture. That means these are signs you can rely on, and with a tight stop, you can lose a few ticks if it then market participants can't make it again above it, but you still have a wonderful risk reward with the target area about 8 ticks higher, and even for long continuation. So these are good trades, and it doesn't matter if you lose maybe 5 out of 10, then if you only have a hit rate of 50, which is obviously good in a trend play. And in the footprint you can see very good where they take on the risk now. You see here this pullback, then the decrease of sellers, and then the increase of volume, and you see how people got into this. That means this will be defended right now, this area, because if they can't defend this area, it will plop to the downside. But obviously some guy who got into it with this many contracts is now in the situation, if he is defending it, he will continue to buy, or if it goes back because some people already sell, then they need to defend. And right now what they do is even providing liquidity, as the upside also is interested here in selling, because you don't know, some other time frame traders are also interested here maybe in this area for selling,
somebody from a firm wanna invest here, wanna tell you that this price is too cheap, and some retailers maybe jumping on it, and now they need to defend it or they plop to the downside, which right now is happening. That's the reason for me now to end this trade here, because this strong second try here with volume needs to find continuation buyer, and if they don't appear, which obviously wasn't the case here at 951 and wasn't the case here in 54, and also the thing that this would be then a double top. Okay, let's see this here in the 15 minutes chart. Look at this window here, at the 1 minute chart here at the top. See this? This was where they take on again a lot of risk into the books, but then failed at the top again to make higher highs and got rejected. Now, right now it's okay for them, but they already take some profits and got out of this heavy bias longs here. And if they can't defend this area, that will plop down to the low, because these buyers are exactly, they are trapped now. And that's the reason why I got into this thinking. Always people are trapped, people can't remain, because this is very important. Here, see this? How they already took out, and now they defend, and if they can't defend anymore this level here, then prices will fall down.
right now the tape shows a top selling. So this means a little bit responsive. So this battle is still ongoing between bulls and bears, but bears now with a little bit better cards in their hands. Better cards in their hands. But please do not look here for a short trend or a short trade, okay? This is not the area where I prepared some short trading, because this would be like top tick Tommy, yeah? Okay, you're not buying in this actual long move. That means I wouldn't just not getting on a long anymore here. That doesn't mean that you have to take on a short now, because this would be against the trend, because see how this P-shaped profile is for today, okay? Here you see this, we're building area in the top value. This is very important to understand. This is two different things. Not saying to take on a long in this situation. In this situation doesn't mean that has to go then for the short. This was different at the value area high orientation from yesterday, okay? Because this was an allowed area where you can look either, like I said, for the long play, or if they're responsive selling and no bullish internals in terms of delta, then you go for the responsive selling signs. This responsive selling signs that appeared here at the moment, this is just signs that at the short term that the bears a little bit more in control, but it's a trendish day, okay? That means this all area can be used for absorption for big guys, for other time frame traders to get into the long again and to buy here, because they don't think in micro levels. They may think in the entry term in micro levels, but they don't care for 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 ticks, okay? This is a difference to our trading. So they take out now the high and searching for the next level. This is the 63 area here, where I said that this is the level where I would set my second target for this long trade, starting here from the area. But I already got out from my long trade because they couldn't make it above the day high with volume and got rejected. And that's how I play it. So that means that I didn't expect that prices will go higher, and I get out on scratch with this position. You can see this here. That's where I met the pullback here at this level, the LVN support, 2 ticks stop below, 4 ticks in my case. Then phase 1 started, again the attempt for the second attempt to the high, then failed, split out. I pulled my stop to entry because at this moment I flattened the position because this wasn't looking good for me. This was looking good here. That's why I entered, because the decrease of selling, some buyers appearing, normal interest, I got in. Then the confirmation, wow, very good. And then you see that they got out. So this is for my play the reason why I got out here, to not risk too much. And now I was on the wrong side because they won, but that doesn't matter. If this happens too much, then you have to make changes and adjustments to your play, okay? If you see that if you can't make profits with this kind of handling, stop handling, then after some time you have to change your play parameters, but don't do this just for fun or just because you have a zero trade right now, or have a winner or have a loser. This doesn't say anything, okay? Don't concentrate on your P&L. This is how I play it, and I can say reasonable without emotions. That was the reason why I closed this position. Doesn't matter how it develops. That doesn't matter if it's going down after it or if it's going up. And this time it's absorbed and then it got up again. So no matter what, you have to stay to your decision, decision you made, and doesn't matter.
Yeah, there's the trend continuation, and they're right now at the region of my target 2 from my today's hypo number 2, which was at 173.62 area. So this was then from the last days, the high of the last week at the 63. And yeah, this is the second target. And if they can even make it above, then the next level would be the 71, a high volume node. This is based on the week from from Monday, the 8th. This is the 2 weeks ago high. But let's see how they take on the 62. So good for the person who recognized that there was no responsive selling at this time here, when we reached the yesterday value area high level here, and see that the delta was all the time strong in buying. Volume increases, okay? That means as we took on the yesterday value area high, no rejection, no responsive selling, only some few sellers here, but not huge. Huge would be like this here. And then you see they made it above the yesterday value area high, pulled back, okay, into it, and again volumes coming in, building here the holding structure at this moment. And something was important to recognize: when they pulled back to this activity level, to the 49, you see they pulled into it, and then volume increases again. See this here? Volume increases again from here to here to here, and then boom. This was the moment where one could have recognized that there's something going on. I didn't take on this trade because this wasn't for me the right looking wedge consolidation. It was too quick for me. I want to see more holding structure, more rangy character, and that's why I didn't got it. But that doesn't matter. There's also always a second change to get into when they're pulling back to this level. This is then the profile pullback to the LVN, and this happens then a few minutes later. They took the first target 56 from my hypo, and then pulled back, and then I saw that first of all the volume wasn't, the structure of delta didn't break, see, in terms of this is the whole trend. And you see that the negative volume, the selling, the profit taken, decreases as well. That means the sellers getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and then some buying appears again. This was here at this moment. This was why I made the decision, because number 1, long trend. Number 2, no aggressive selling. Number 3, selling even decreases. Number 4, we're reaching the low volume node, the pullback from this before long area where the whole thing was initiated, buying started from, and some more buyers appear again. Enter. Stop was at this moment at 48. Then I saw this, the impulse phase. That's how I call this, the second attempt and starting increase of increase of volume what appeared here. Then handling the stop, pulling it closer to 2 tick about here. I pulled the stop to -2. And as I saw that they can go higher and selling now increases again, and got back to my entry level, I pulled the stop to 0 right now. So that's how I played it, and then I got out from this position, and right now they reached the target, almost reached it at 61, and right now a little bit drying up the buying pressure, but we're still in this region, and as long as prices stay within this 50 area. That means within here everything is okay. You don't know if they're making a second attempt maybe later in the afternoon or later in an hour or whatever, but right now we can see some range trainings and consolidation before they take on the second wave or the second attempt on the upside. If they can stay above this area from this region, above this 50, 59 area, at least 50, 47, then that's it. It was a mediocre OTF participant that led to this long trend, and we going back to the 2 days value area high and fill out this profile, and we then have a normal day. But right now everything is in control, and this stays as long as we stay above the 47.50 area. Yeah, from the profile terms of, you see this is a P-shaped profile. That means that we have a bullish imbalance. That means that if you take on this streak here from today where it started from, it started obviously at the open at the 33 area, and right now we're around this at POC at the 55, means 20 ticks. That means if you take this and have a bullish imbalance, means to put this piece on the other side, and then you have a PBT. That means this is a balanced profile, nicht balanced, Entschuldigung, this is a pending profile target, and this would be then the target area if the level of 50 can be defended. All right, then. Market is now into this consolidation models. That means as the prices building value now with this P-shaped profile above yesterday value, we see now the consolidation mode. This means, yeah, I would say the plays for this morning are already played. If you're in a position from this moment on, as prices build value above yesterday value area high with this pullback, also the second attempt, and you haven't closed the position as I did, a little bit maybe too early, but this was just the play I do it. So then you can leave your position here, as long as price stay above this 51 area, because you still have a chance of a trend continuation, and you are paid. Hopefully, if you took on the trade, my hypo number 2 as value was built with the strong bullish data, and you're paid now with one contract or how many lots you're ever trading, and can stay within, as long as I said they keep in control of the main area here in between the 50 area to 60. And yeah, that's it. I will stay live till 11 o'clock, but as long as prices don't fall back and build a normal distribution, but staying above the 50, there is nothing to do, and just to stay in this move, because the scenario is still alive and still on. Yeah. In the 15 minutes charts, you can see here from the last 2 weeks that once reaching the low, the bigger pullback area, and now started on last week Monday again, the chance to continue into the long trend, which was built then on Wednesday with building here the bottom and pulling against upwards of the monthly 50%. You see also the importance, of course, filling out this low volume node here on this on the composite profile from the month. And then Wednesday trended away, pullback trended away. Friday a little bit conservative, a little bit balanced, OTF, no OTF appearance, and now played again. And if you see here, there is still the level of 71. This was the 2 weeks ago week high, and also the edge here about 85, 89, 90. So we are right now filling out this LVN, and if the prices can extend here, we see, of course, this area of interest of 65 to 71 and then 85 to 90 around. Still everything possible. I stay alive. I stay live here till 11 o'clock, and nothing to do then right now. Nothing to do then right now. Yep. So, before we end the session, one quick view at the intraday chart. In the target area now is reached, the 63. This was the next area. And in between, prices stayed within the builded main value of this P-shaped today profile. And this was the springboard level. Huh? So prices, even though volume dried up a little bit, which is normally after a trendish move, that there will appear some consolidation phase. But the balanced phase was only from short duration, and now they extended the high again and reached their target. And I think that's a good moment to end today's morning session of FGBL on this Monday, the 22nd of July. I say thank you for watching and listening, and I will provide in the afternoon then the recap, referring to my hypos, how to play it, and how to read the market. Have a nice day and see you later. Bye.